What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Yakuza Fan Podcast, episode 28 for March 16th, 2017.
We did it.
How did we do it?
We made it to the middle of March.
I know. I'm actually very surprised. This has felt like the quickest month. I don't know what it is.
February was quick.
I felt like February. Yeah, I felt like February just ended abruptly, and now we're halfway through March, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's gone by really quickly. Well, in February, though, it was like 28 days long instead of 30, so you lost a few days there. You were like, oh, my shirt designs aren't done.
Yeah, that's true. It's been a long couple of weeks, long few weeks. But at the same time, it's felt really short, so...
You're just talking to talk, aren't you?
A little bit. You know what? I'm upset because I didn't introduce ourselves at the top of the show.
I know, I like cutting you off before you can do that.
I'm Deacon, this is Cal.
Why are you introducing us?
Because this might be somebody's first episode. And if it
but
is,
they don't know who we are.
I implore you to go back.
Yes.
To a better episode.
Like when there was actually news.
Go back to the spoiler cast. That was a good episode.
Yeah.
Anyways. Cal, why don't we start off, as we do every week, with what have you been playing this week? Before we get started, I just want to apologize. I've got a bit of a cold, so... Mm-hmm.
And I just want to apologize. We're not talking about Nier.
We are talking about... I would like to apologize for all the Nier talk that is incoming.
I would like to apologize for my future nap.
Yeah, or, the hour of Zelda talk that you dragged us into last week.
Yes.
And I got 12 minutes to talk about Nier.
Okay, so I played Zelda. We won't talk any more about that. You played Nier. We won't talk too much more about that.
I want to talk a little bit more about it. Because I think that Nier can appeal to the Yakuza audience, and I want to make a case for it.
Okay, quickly, make your case.
Here's my case. It is a semi-open world action RPG with a really open to interpretation, cool, sci-fi, weird story that makes you feel really sad in the same way that Yakuza's story makes you feel really like, I don't know.
Warm fuzzies.
Yeah, every single sub-story ends in a warm, fuzzy feeling. Everybody either gets what they want or whatever, you know what I mean? Everything has a happy ending.
You solve their problem.
Exactly. Every single thing in Nier is designed to make you feel bad, and it's fucking great. I highly recommend it. Again, pseudo-open world action RPG.
And also, Yoko Taro is absolutely insane, just like Nagoshi, so...
Yeah. I feel like they could be friends.
Yes, they probably are.
Probably. It's been a hell of a ride. Like, I'm only about, I think, 30 hours in now.
Yeah.
And it's... Every time I think I've beaten the game, it goes no.
Well, there are 26 endings.
There are 26 endings. I think I've only gotten maybe 10 of them at this point. But every time I think I beat the game, it's like... It changes the core gameplay mechanic. Every single time I think I've beaten it, something major happens that changes the nature of the world. It's fucking fantastic. I cannot recommend Nier highly enough. I really think if you're a Yakuza fan, it's the same kind of structure. Like, the plot is there when you want to head to the spot where the plot happens. Otherwise, go do sub-stories and just... It's got that Platinum Games action, Oh my god, it's so good. Again, I'm 30 hours in, so I'm deep into Nier at this point. You're into it. Highly recommend. Zelda is also very good.
Zelda is awesome. I'm probably about halfway. I've finished 2 of the 4 core temples that you have to complete, and then but I keep getting wrapped up in side stories too. It's like, oh, my cuckoos have escaped, and also my wife left me because I was too obsessed with chickens. And
see, now if
she's like, what's more important to me? What's more important to you? The chickens or me, or the cuckoos or me? And he chose the cuckoos, and then they all got away. They were so important to him, but then he let them run away.
You know what? He chose correctly.
He did.
If that was a Nier sub-story, though, like, the wife would have killed the chickens.
Yes.
And then the man at the end of the sub-story you would have told him that the wife killed the chickens, and then the man would have killed the wife.
Yeah.
That's the kind of way the Nier sub-story ends.
I'll stick with my Nintendo.
No way. Just make it as sad as possible. God, I love it. There was talks today about them making a Nier Playouts Kai figure. The second that happens, I'm all in. I'm sorry. I will find a way to make this happen. I wanted a Emil,
yeah.
No way. Could you imagine a little Emil Playouts Kai? Like, exactly like
the
Psycho Mantis Playouts Kai, except as a little floating Emil?
No. Nandoroid all the way for Emil. Anyway, but besides that, we played an unlikely hero.
We did?
Snipper Clips!
Oh, we did! Yeah, I forgot all about that. That's the only game that we've actually played outside of Nier and Zelda this week, I think.
We didn't kill each other while playing, so that was a good bonus.
I tried to.
Yes, but...
There were a few moments where you were really getting under my skin.
That's because every time you try to do something, I would go snip, 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 and snip him.
Yeah, so...
And it was exciting.
We've been messing around with the Switch. Snipper Clips is definitely the unsung hero.
It is. It's a little pricey for its length. There aren't enough levels.
I think it's a little pricey for its mechanics.
That too. But it's more expensive in Canada, you got to remember. Because our dollar
even then, I feel like it could be cheaper.
I agree. Snipper Clips needs to be about $10 less than what it is.
Yeah.
But otherwise, great game. If it goes on sale, get it. If you don't mind spending a little bit more on not a lot of content, like people who don't mind shorter games, then...
I feel like if I were going on like a car trip, if I was in the back of my parents' car with my brother, we set up the Switch, we both got a controller, we sit there and play Snipper Clips. I think it's the perfect game for long, boring travel. If I were on a bus, that's where I would want to play it two-player with
And also
someone.
people who are not as intelligent as us, like children, for example.
Really?
We solved the puzzles pretty quick. It was like, okay, I know exactly what to do. And it's just
some of them were a little...
but it's just a matter of figuring them out, whereas I think kids could spend a little bit more time.
Sorry, did you just say that the way to solve the puzzles is just a matter of figuring them out?
Well, yeah, but they're... I don't want to... I'm not going to go... There's a bunch of different puzzle mechanics. Some of them are timing. Some of them are snipping in the right way or filling out of space. It's...
Yeah, those ones I hate the most.
Yeah, but I think for a child, they might get a little bit more duration out of the levels, whereas we solve them quite quickly.
Maybe. It kind of reminds me like a kid's version of Portal.
Yeah,
like of the Portal co-op. You got to work together and like just get things. It's like a slow-paced Portal co-op.
Yeah, but it is a good co-op game. And what's really cool about it, though, I think my favorite feature that we'll never use is that there's a head-to-head combat mode where you can try and snip each other. We had fun with that. Weird. I won, and then that was the end of it. But it's actually really good.
Yeah. So Snipper Clips, shouts out. Good game.
But otherwise, I don't think we really played anything.
I'm trying to think if I even picked up like my Vita this week.
I read the patch notes for Stardew Valley.
Yeah, I think I played a little bit.
The closest to that I did. But now I'm mad. I'm going to buy it on the Switch.
Yeah. I think I played a little bit of my Vita at some point, but
Oh, I played Pokemon Go on my phone. I caught some new Pokemon. Apparently there's new Pokemon. I didn't know about this until yesterday.
You're the only one still playing Pokemon Go at this point.
That is not true. There was a couple kids at the live. But let me tell you guys a work story.
Oh, all right. God, please.
So yesterday, because we're a day late here. The reason why we're a day late is because yesterday I had to go out drinking. But yesterday during the day I worked all day, and we had this Pokemon hunt in the library. So basically what I did is I hid like these cardboard cutouts of Pokemon all around, and the kids had a little scavenger hunt sheet and they had to go find them all. So it was pretty cool. I was going to drop lures because our library is actually a gym, but you can't drop lures on a gym.
Really?
I thought you could, but no, it's just Pokestops.
No.
So I was mad. But there weren't a lot of kids playing Pokemon Go because obviously the average age is like 8 years old. Yeah. So they don't have iPhones or whatever. So, but anyway, I was catching Pokemon in the library during this. Mm-hmm. That's why I was playing it, or else I wouldn't be playing it either. But anyway, I got a good turnout, and then my boss took all the credit, sort of.
That's fine. That's fair. To be fair, she did most of the work.
She did none of the work. None of it. I did all of it. And everyone's like, oh, you're so great because you're so good to the town and all the stuff that you put on in the library. It's like, fuck you. This never would have happened without me. She didn't even know what Pokemon is. Her kid is 30.
I know what Pokemon is. I'm in my 30s.
No, her kid is 30.
I know, so am I. I know what Pokemon is.
Yeah, but you are. Her kid probably knows more about Pokemon, but she doesn't.
Oh,
She's
please.
an old lady. She hasn't even read Harry Potter.
That's pretty bad. That's probably because she thinks it is written by the devil.
That's possible. I asked her what the difference between regular fiction and Christian fiction was, and she almost tried to say that Christian fiction has a certain moral aspect to it.
Wow.
Yeah. She kind of caught herself, but said it. It was like, that's okay.
Yeah, that's pretty bizarre.
Because I honestly couldn't figure it out, because we have like shitty romance novels that are labeled Christian fiction. I'm like, really? How?
They fall in love and get married first.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Or it's like there's some kind of like God or Jesus or church aspect to the book.
That's great.
But not necessarily in the... But you couldn't label, say, certain Bible. Anne Rice books. Or...
Why not?
The Bible goes in the nonfiction section in the there's a religion section.
Oh, that's how they skirt around it like.
Yeah, well, but in our library, for example, it's kind of because we have so few books. It's next to like Dalai Lama books and stuff like that, so it kind of fits in there. Okay.
Do you have the Pastafarian book in there?
No, we do not.
Get that. Get it and stick it in the religion.
We don't have the Atheist Bible, either of them. We don't have the Pastafarian one or the God Dilemma by. Dawkins.
Okay.
So it's kind of
One
sad.
day.
But there's so many Christians in this town. Even like the kids. I run the library club. We were playing board games and somebody was saying something about church being boring or something like that. And they all kind of like agreed, these kids. And it's like, y'all go to church? Like, these are little Chinese kids. And it's...
First of all, that's racist.
No, but come on. Like, we're talking... Parents are right off the boat. Mother can barely speak English Chinese.
You know they have religion in China, right?
I just didn't expect it to be Christian religion. I thought they'd be like Buddhist or something.
You're getting really racist now.
Okay.
Please
but
stop.
seriously, it was just a little unexpected. All of these children in this town. I guess it's something that is pretty commonplace, which is a little awkward for me because it's like I'm pretty devout atheist.
Yeah, devout or devout?
Pretty devout.
Devout.
I can spell it. Yeah. I hate religion. Anyway.
Okay.
That's my work story. My work tangent.
Absolutely incredible. So, did we do anything else of note this week? I don't think so.
No.
We've both been busy as hell. I've been lost in Nier. You've been doing stuff, whatever it is you do during the day.
Work.
That too. No, I've been working my ass off like all day. Like this week's just been. I feel like I've just worked in Nier.
Yeah,
that's been my week.
I've been writing shitty gift guides, ongoing job. I was complaining about this on the Discord.
Yeah, I every time I want to sit down and write something for the channel, I'm like, but Nier though. Like I feel super bad.
I know. I was like, Deacon, I can't write the next Fortune the Dragon if you don't tell me what the topic is going to be.
I know.
I'm going to send that to you.
I need to get you the cliff notes for Forging the Dragon. Like,
yeah, and then you're nearly there.
It's so good though, Cal. You don't understand. Like every night before I go to bed, I'm like wiping my fucking eyes from all the tears from playing Nier.
I'm lucky if you go to bed.
You really are. Like I stay up like I don't know.
Too late.
You
ate all the Chinese food last night.
Not all of it. I ate like I don't know. An entire pack of of pork and all the beef and broccoli.
You wait till I fall asleep and then eat all the food. It's not fair.
All the leftovers are gone. You wake up, I'm just a crying mess surrounded by Chinese food. It's so good, guys. Please get Nier. It needs all the help it can get. I want a Nier Playouts kite.
Oh, man.
I shill for Nier, Yakuza, and the Souls games. That's it. Everything else is safe.
None of these even pay you. Why do you shill for them?
Because I want more of them, and the more popular a series is, the more likely it is to continue going. Souls is there. Yakuza is getting up there. Nier is my next thing that I need to champion.
Yeah.
Like, Nier Automata is doing really, really well, but it's not...
By Nier standards.
By Nier standards, no one played the original Nier. Like, there's a lot of people who got on late.
Yeah.
But, like, I played that shit day one, and fuck, the first Nier is so good.
It is.
This Nier Automata, it might be better. I'll see how... I don't know how it's going to end yet, but, like, right now, it is, like, up there. It is just as good.
I like the interview with Yoko Taro, and he's like, "Oh, I just let Platinum do all the work." And
yeah, it's like, hey, what was the question? Did all of your ideas make it into the game? And he's like, "Well, I pretty much just okayed everything that Platinum gave to me. So in a sense, yes, all of my ideas did make it into the game."
Or I was like, "Would you make any more Nier games?" Yes, if they would let me.
if they give me money, I will make anything.
Yes,
I believe was his response. And it's like, would you like to make a Dragon Quest game? If they give me money, I will make anything. I love Yoko Taro.
Wasn't this the one that he said that he would... Was it Yoko Taro who said that he'd quit if he didn't get to make a game with...
No, that was the director of Dragon Quest.
Oh, it was the other way around.
Yeah. He said that he would quit Square Enix if he didn't get to make a game with Yoko Taro.
Okay, so he kept Yoko Taro basically on board because his games keep failing.
Yeah. I love Yoko Taro games. Like, they're so good. I've got Dragon Guards 3 sitting there to play, and it's like...
I hear it's kind of mediocre, though.
Yeah, I hear it's super mediocre, but gets, like, off-the-wall weird at the end. And that's what I want. That's what I expect.
I love that Yoko Taro never wants to show his face. So he got this Emil mask, and he's just wearing it now. That's his thing.
Yeah. I love it. It's... Again, I've got the 4 Japanese devs that I respect. Like, Kojima, Yoko Taro, I guess Swery... Nagoshi.
Swery is great.
Swery is a
He
treat.
tweets me sometimes.
He's like the most approachable dude.
He really is. Like, I've tweeted him a few times and he will reply to me like, "Thanks," with a smiley face. He's the most rewarding person to tweet.
Yeah. No, for
sure. I don't know if everyone else has the same thing with Swery. If he's just replying to everyone. I think he does. He's very approachable, but I say something kind.
I saw that there's a Twitter account that I saw today.
Yeah.
And it's called, weekly lewd near image RARs.
Yeah.
Image zips.
Yes.
And one of the followers is Yokotaro himself. It's fantastic. Oh, man. Oh, my nose is leaking over here.
Well, there was a question in the interview with that, too. It was did you want her to be sexy or something like that? What was going on with that design? And he was like, well, we didn't design her to be sexy, but then the artist did such a great job. We told them that if they didn't model her butt as nice as his drawing, then they would be fired or something.
That was, yes. He said that the concept artist did such a good job making her look sexy. They told the programmers that if they didn't make the model as good as the art, then they would be fired.
Yes.
Something like that. It's
as attractive or whatever.
Yeah, that's perfect. God, I could go on and on about Nier.
See, I'm very much on the other side. I like the game and all. I probably won't play it, but I like it. But I love these game developers. I love the people behind the games. I'm very much on that side of the journalism.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. I find that Japanese game dev stories are so much more interesting. I find that the way they build their dream teams is so much more interesting than the Western devs. Mm-hmm. I feel like Japanese game devs are oh, this guy wants to work with this guy, and this guy wants to come on board too, and they make a little team around that. Mm-hmm. Whereas Western devs is well, I have a vision for a game, and then let's sit in a million boardroom meetings and find the best way to approach that.
Yeah.
And I feel like the only way we're ever going to get around that is with indie devs.
Yeah.
I feel like indie devs are going to be the first Western dev groups that are going to break away from that tradition where I want to make a game with Jonathan Blow or something like that, and they're going to go and make that game
but without a planner, which is great.
I think that planners are what I think that a planner would kind of be more like a team lead. I think that that's kind of their role. They do a little bit of everything, but they keep the team on track and double check the work of everything in place of the director.
But I see a lot of the planner thought this, but the guys did this, the programmers did this or whatever, and it's the planners don't really know what they're doing. A planner should be somebody who was on the design team and then promote it rather than
maybe. I think
I agree, team lead is valuable, planner is not. I
think that who's to say?
After doing Forging the Dragon, I know that
you're pretty convinced the planners aren't actually needed?
Yes. I had to research what a planner was.
It's so hard to find information on it
because nobody fucking knows what they do. I don't think anybody in Japan knows.
They just make up a job title.
I think that's what it is. We want to hire more people for arbitrarily.
Yeah. And so, hey, let's add more planners.
Yes. I just applied for a job and I'm hoping I'll get it, but I was thinking that would be a great thing to focus on is trying to find stories of game developers rather than...
I think that would be really cool.
Anyway, that's my passion, and let's do some more Forging the Dragon, Deacon.
I want to. I'm going to. I will make it my mission to do a Forging the Dragon by next Friday.
Okay? Get it done?
I will get it done.
When are you going to get the notes to me?
I will crack the whip and make
I have to write those.
We will get it done by next Friday, Cal. You mark my words.
All right. I work all day tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry. We'll get it done. Speaking of which, I might need to work Saturday morning, so we might need to talk about that.
No, not Saturday morning. We have to go take the kids to the dentist.
We will see about that too.
No!
Anyways. Cal.
What? What? Was there any news?
No.
there was one piece of news. This was an amazing discovery that I found out only because they backed us on Patreon, and that is KH Subs has a Patreon now.
Yes, that guy needs to tweet me more often. So, as some of you guys might know, KH Subs, who's first of all an awesome guy, but he does subtitle videos for every Yakuza game that's never made it West. He writes guides, he does sub-videos, he does a parody series.
He's got a Tumblr.
Oh, yeah, guys all over the place. And he just launched his Patreon to back making more Yakuza-related videos. I was actually discussing it with him. He does subs for cutscenes, and I was saying that, well, why don't you try moving into, say... Interviews and, the behind-the-scenes stuff that the Japanese channel puts out. The official Riga Gotoku channel. it never gets subbed anywhere. No one really knows too much about it. Like even I can't crack through most of it because it's so in depth.
Yeah.
So again, if go and back KHH subs on Patreon.
Yeah, but let him know if that's what you want. Want him to sub. Like, don't harass him, but tell him, hey, I would really like you to sub these interviews.
Yeah, exactly.
And then put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah. But so he's doing it a little bit different than us, where you pay per video that he releases.
Yes.
Like we request like a monthly kind of thing to keep the site on.
Yeah.
Online.
Whether or not we deliver content.
Hey, no. I trust me. It's been really hard with Nier. I will be honest. But don't get me wrong, I'm going to get back on track with the content.
Yes, we're going to try and do more behind the scenes videos too, because we've been kind of lacking in those.
I know. It's been rough. We need to get back to our Yakuza 1 playthrough.
And I've been meaning to.
We've got so much on the go.
I've been promising for like 3 months, forging the dragon, and I really got to do it. Oh, maybe with a series of stuff.
Okay, we're getting off track. So
okay.
Anyway, yeah, he does a payment per video. So every time that he releases a video, you give him whatever you pledge. So if you pledge $1, every time he releases a video, he gets $1. Yeah. And I think that's a really good way to do it. I was kind of discussing.
We would never get paid if we did that.
I was discussing it with him a while ago, and I think that's a really good model for the way that he releases content.
I agree, because sometimes it can be really sporadic.
And honestly, I've seen how much YouTube pays out. The guy right now isn't making any money from the work that he does.
There's this huge misconception about YouTube.
Yeah.
You don't get rich. Like, we don't make much money.
Not just that. Specifically because of the content that he makes.
Right, because it's all blocked.
It will get either blocked or it will just get flagged for monetization by Sega, and he won't make a dime off of the stuff that he does. So I highly recommend going and backing KHH subs if you want more Yakuza content, because that guy does an awesome job and he does deserve the money. He deserves to get paid for it. And while you're there, back us.
Yes.
Anyway,
back both of us. But you only have to pay us once a month.
Yeah. Anyway, let me just double check his link. I think it's patreon.com/KHH subs.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, go hit him up. Tell him what a great job he's doing. Tell him you want to see more interview videos.
Yes, do that, because that's what I want to see.
Yeah, me too. That honestly, he could forego the cutscenes, and I would just be happy with the interview videos. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I agree with you.
I'd be very happy with that.
Especially with all the games kind of coming out now and stuff.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Oh, it's so good. It's such a good time to be a Yakuza fan. The hardest part of being a fan right now is Yakuza 6 is done and gone.
Yeah.
There's nothing happening with Yakuza 6. Kiwami's coming up, and there's nothing really to talk about at all. And so we're in this weird limbo state of there's nothing happening.
I was looking at our Google Analytics today because I was chatting with a friend. And if you look at January, it's our page views are really good because that's when, Zero had just come out and all of that. And then you look at now, it's wow, nobody's visiting the website. Because why? Why would they go there? There's nothing happening.
Exactly. But whatever. This happens every middle of the cycle thing. So it's a little bit more downtime.
Yeah. When we should be doing Forging the Dragon.
I know, but still, it's been a rough couple of weeks here. So,
how many more episodes do you think we're gonna have of that?
I think a few. Again, if we go into Yakuza 2,
that's true.
Maybe into 3, we'll see.
Is there info out there for those?
For 2, yes. For 3, it's a little more sparse.
Maybe we can do it in one video.
By 3, they kind of got their process down.
Yeah.
And then come 4, they made their own spin-off studio, and then it's
there's not as much drama.
No, not at all. If anything, they mellowed out. Yokoyama used to be a real hard ass, especially when it came to recording sessions.
Yes.
If you didn't know your lines when he got there, fuck you, go home.
What are you doing one here? Of the Forging the Dragon.
Yeah, and now it's whatever.
Yeah,
he's mellowed out.
Because they know that they have the job security and all of that. I think when you have so much riding on this project, you're going to be a little bit more intense.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And rigid.
And not just that, he went from, what was it called? Planner to writer to sound director? I think
he was a general director.
It got a little... I think it's hard when you're juggling so many different roles, especially for the first time. Yakuza 3 was his first time on, casting and acting and,
it's just hard. And if you've never done that, how do you know if you're doing a good job?
Yeah, exactly.
So you're going to project those insecurities on everyone
else. I think so too.
I think that we should do similar to Fortune Dragon, maybe call it something else of Yakuza 3 and the localization issues over North America, because there's still a huge amount of misconception and misinformation out there.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. That's something that it's a little less research and Sega's kind of tight-lipped on. And
then we can speculate. I love speculating.
Me too. But there is a lot of there's a huge problem with Sega of America where there's a lot of job turnaround. Where the people who worked on the original Yakuza don't work on it anymore.
So you can't get this information.
Yeah, like they don't even work at Sega anymore. Whereas most of the core team that worked on Yakuza 1 still work at Sega.
I think that's so cool. Like the game development works so differently.
I love the idea of like a company man for life. Like if you're working, that. As that kind of person who loves that security, that appeals to me so much.
You lost your job, you hate your boss, and then you went back to your job.
Oh man, that was a hard pill to swallow. But honestly, it's just so you threw me completely off track here. I like the
making funny.
I know, no, it's fine. I like the idea of these high profile people who work their way up through the company, whereas I find that Western devs. No one moves from a game testing role up through to like producer, director, writer.
What was it that somebody was a janitor and then they moved up?
Gunpei Yokoi, I believe his name is, the guy who invented the Game Boy.
That's what it was.
Yeah. He was a janitor at Nintendo and then he came up with the Game Boy. Like, that's insane to me.
That would never happen here.
No, not
there's so much like classism and segregation here. Like in office work and all of that. Like, there's the start in the mailroom and work your way up, but that's such a isolated...
I feel like there was, like, back in the 60s, but
now... back, not for millennials.
Oh, God, no. No. Now you need a job and 10 years experience.
Well, like, my job, for example, like, library technician. I have a great job. I really enjoy it. But there's nowhere to go. Like, the only way you could go is, like, maybe full-time staff or maybe being, doing a specialized program. But then it's, like, head librarian. Well, there's only one. And that's my boss, and she's not going to leave.
Well, I see an obvious solution here.
What?
Kill her!
But seriously, like, she's never going anywhere. She loves her job. Why would she quit? Yeah. So there's no room to advance. Like, the only way that I'm going to get somewhere else is to switch careers. Whereas... before they almost create it, and in Japan they do this, in the game development industry especially, they almost create new roles for these people. Like, they get their own studio, they just make a new spot for them. People get executive.
Shuffled. Nintendo are the worst for it. Nintendo, if you get hired on at Nintendo, even Nintendo America, you could be at Nintendo forever. They would rather reshuffle you to different teams than let you go. Like, that's the way they work with their job security over there. Like, it's really, really rare to hear about Nintendo layoffs, like, at all. So, if you're willing to put up with it, like, Nintendo's a great company to work for.
Yeah, in that sense. But yeah, that's something that just, for the most part, doesn't happen anymore. So it's kind of cool to see it in the game development sector. Like, Yokoyama, for example, didn't like what he was doing, so they said, here, go do this instead, rather than quit. I think, was he going to quit, or?
He tried to, he was working under Kikuchi.
Yes.
And he wanted to break off and do his own thing. He wasn't. He wanted to like take up a lead role on like on a sports game or something. He just didn't want to be working under him. He wanted to strive out on his own. And just as he went to do that, Kikuchi found out he was trying to leave his team and then flew back and said, "No, stick around. We're going to need someone with your skills on our next game." And Kikuchi's like, "Well, yeah, I guess I can." And they stuck him in charge of Ollie King, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And then after he produced, or I believe directed that game, so Ollie King came out, and then they're like, okay, now we're ready for you to come on the Yakuza team as a lead planner.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we also need someone to help write this story.
Yeah.
Everyone give us your ideas. And then Yokoyama wrote an entire script based around like a character flowchart. Like, that's an insane thing to do.
It is.
So,
I mean, there's the dedication there, but... going over and above like that doesn't get you anywhere anymore. You know what it gets you? No recognition for your Pokemon hunt.
I disagree. I think that going above and beyond does get you recognition when you do it. But it has to be...
for the right company?
It has to be for the right company. It has to be to such a level that it can't be ignored.
Yes.
Like, it needs to be something that is recognized by not just your boss, but your boss's boss.
Right.
Like, that's where you need to be.
Well, that's where I gotta be. But my boss's boss can't do anything. Damn it, public libraries. Lack of funding.
Wow, really? The public library is going out of fashion? I never would have believed it.
It is not going out of fashion, thank you very much.
Really?
I had like 45 children there today.
Did you?
Yes, but it's a very small library.
It is a very small library, which is really weird because, like, you did your Pokemon hunt yesterday, so...
Oh, yesterday. Whatever.
It seems strange.
Time is convoluted when you...
Yeah, I was going to say...
Today's my day off.
You weren't at the library and suddenly 45 children showed up. I'm pretty sure I see a pattern.
Yes. Anyway... This is why I drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we didn't record the podcast last night, because you were sick.
I'm still sick. I've still got the sniffles.
You were like, I'm too sick, and
I'm
playing
sick,
Nier.
and Nier has me gripped.
Yeah.
Oh, Nier is so good. So there is other news that came out just a second ago from South by Southwest. It's a con.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
Yes, I've never heard of it either, but apparently a bunch of Sega news just happened there.
Not anything Yakuza related, but we finally got our first... We found out that the unannounced Sonic game is now officially called Sonic Forces. It has an amazing logo.
We are arguing over the fact that I think it looks fucking sick.
I think it looks like every 3D Sonic game for the last 10 years. I think it looks like the best version of every 3D Sonic game. Like, it looks like it's...
So did you hate Sonic Adventure?
I wasn't...
Get out.
I wasn't a huge fan.
Get out. Everyone tell him to get out.
It's not
Leave
fantastic.
a comment and say get out. Just say get out.
Leave a thumbs up.
No.
I was just going to say leave a thumbs up if you agree with Cal, but I guess if you agree with Cal, leave a thumbs down. That's how Cal wants to play out.
I'm done.
Anyway, Sonic Forces just got announced. They showed off some gameplay. It looks like every 3D Sonic game. You're running in a straight line, jumping, doing a homing dash. It looks like
cool.
The best version of a 3D Sonic
Ignore
game.
him. It looks awesome. There's some sick Robotnik looking robots. I want to play it.
Eggman looking robots.
Fuck that. Robotnik.
They released some music for it, apparently. It sounds really good.
I didn't hear the music.
I just retweeted it before the podcast started. It sounds really good.
I only watched that shitty cam video.
No. The music sounds... If that's an official track, it sounds like pitch perfect Sonic. Like, that is what I want from my Sonic game.
Oh, and Sonic Mania was delayed.
Yeah, Sonic Mania got delayed, but that's fine. Yeah. There was a great quote about loving to go fast, but sometimes you need to slow down.
I'm glad that they're taking their time.
I think so too, especially with Sonic Mania, because that is the Sonic game that I've had the most interest in.
Yeah,
if
it's not ready, don't release it.
I'm a little weary. I've heard that the new zone is a little strange.
Okay,
like that what's it called? I can't remember what the name of the new zone is. It's like this neon theme park, whatever the hell it is, or like a TV station or something. But apparently, it's like you don't just run right to the end of the level. Apparently, it's got like these weird not open world, but like a little bit of backtracking components to it to like unlock a gate here, go back to this section, hit a switch, go forward. Like it's not just...
Well, we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
If it's bad, it's only a little bit.
I agree. Apparently, though, the mechanics are like...
Well, that's all that really matters. I think the rest of the game will be tolerable.
I think that it looks like the best Sonic game in years. I'm so excited for Sonic Mania.
I am too. That one actually, I'm really excited for.
Yeah. No, it's the most I've ever looked forward to a Sonic game since Sonic Adventure.
Oh, man. I'm so hyped for Sonic Adventure.
I was indifferent about it, but at the same time, I was excited for it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm excited for the concept of Sonic Adventure, but everything I saw about it's kind of like, I will say, though, I think that while Sonic's levels are great, Knuckles' levels are my favorite in that game.
They are great.
Like, there is nothing more fun to me in that game than rocking around as Knuckles, digging through walls, trying to find emerald shards.
Did you personally finish Sonic Adventure? You don't strike me as the type.
I think I helped my brother, like, we traded off. Like, it was a case of we both played it, so, like, we each did different segments. I did a lot of emerald searching, he did a lot of, like, the Sonic levels.
Yeah, but what about, like, Amy and E102 Gamma and Big the Cat?
I think I did Big the Cat, I think he did E102 Gamma.
E102 was great.
Yeah. I always liked E102, actually. I think that was an interesting addition.
Yeah.
I can't remember, in Sonic Adventure, was it 1 or 2 where Tails was in a ship? Like, he used a gun.
Well, like, in the Walker?
Yeah.
That was 2.
That was 2, okay.
2 is shit.
Yeah.
I beat that too, of course.
Well, actually, 2 is...
I didn't like 2.
2 is okay. You see where it kind of started to come off the rails, but it was okay.
I don't agree. I think the City Escape level's okay, but the rest of the game kind of sucks. The Chow Gardens were sick.
The Chow Gardens were the best in the series in that one.
I was given Sonic Adventure 2 on the GameCube, actually, as a gift, and it was like, I was pretty hyped because it was a new Sonic Adventure game, and I played it, and I'm like, oh... This isn't very good. And I went back to Smash. Then I got Wind Waker, and then I played that, and I was like, oh, this isn't very good either. And the GameCube was really disappointing for me.
I think that the GameCube...
But I went back to Smash.
Yeah. Again, I didn't get the GameCube until, like, I think I moved to Canada. And then...
You played mine.
Yeah, I played yours. Chibi Robo, shouts out. But other than that, I can't think of another game on the GameCube that I actually give a shit about. Like,
you like Gush and the Giant?
It's not really.
Yeah.
It's I like it in concept, but
Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg.
Again, I barely played that one, so I can't give like a full review of it. But that is very Sega arcadey. It's okay, but it's very Sega of that time.
See, I think the GameCube has a lot of strong games. Like for me, I played a lot of
Mario
Luigi's
Sunshine.
Mansion. I didn't beat Mario Sunshine. I played a lot of Luigi's Mansion. I played so much. That is the definitive version of Smash.
Really, Melee?
Yes, absolutely.
Really,
best version.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, now I hear people say this, but again, I didn't have the GameCube, so I don't really have much of an affinity for it. For me, my favorite version of Smash is the 64 version.
No.
Followed by the Wii U version.
No, you're wrong.
So what is it about? No, that's fine.
Factually wrong. There's been research. Why? And why? Because it is better. But that's just
told me.
It's perfectly balanced. It's the classic. It's the characters that are in it. It improved on everything that the Nintendo 64 version did without overcomplicating things. It still had the unlocking methods that were kind of interesting. You could unlock things. You were playing and you got that exciting experience of, oh, it's a new character. The internet still wasn't as well developed. They didn't reveal every character before you got the game, so you didn't know necessarily everyone you were going to get. I mean, of course, you heard about it soon after.
I've always heard that tripping is like a constant worry in Melee. Is that actually a thing?
There is a tripping mechanic, but it doesn't usually affect you that much. But it changes the gameplay, I guess.
So what does it do? Just like while you're running,
you just stumble. Yeah,
that sucks. And I'll tell you, I've been dealing with this. Nier has a tripping mechanic.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks.
It does, but you don't do a lot of running in Smash, right? You do a lot of fighting.
Of course.
I think that it's fine. And then the characters were really good. Like, it had Lucas in it, which I liked, and Ness, and...
Yeah.
But it wasn't an overwhelming cast, and it wasn't a super weird cast. So... And isn't Snake in it?
Is he in Melee? No, he's in Brawl. He came in Brawl. And there's like a sick level, and like there's codec calls whenever you fight anyone new, you make a codec call and you find out more about it.
I like that.
It's super sick.
Smash is one of those games that has been consistently pretty good on all the consoles.
Yeah.
But another one that's really good is Double Dash. Mario Kart Double Dash is one of my favorite versions of Mario Kart.
Yes.
Because you're co-opable.
Yeah. No, I got it. It's just, again, I never had a big affinity for Mario Kart. For me, again, the Wii U version is my favorite version. I was always a Diddy Kong Racing boy. I played so much Diddy Kong Racing. I unlocked every secret character except for TT. Fuck that guy. But man, I usually dislike racing games. But it's Daytona and Diddy Kong Racing. That's it.
Yeah.
Like I can't think of another racing game that I like. Like, honestly.
Yeah, I played a lot of Mario Kart. And then, what else did the game you have? Oh, and of course, Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing was the big game. Like, I would go to school and all my friends were playing Animal Crossing. And, like, it was one of those games. I had this little circle of friends, and we kind of all independently played GameCube.
Yeah.
And this was, like, past the GameCube's prime a little bit. Like, there wasn't anything new out. Yeah. There was the Xbox, the PS3.
Could you visit friends' towns in the original GameCube version?
I want to say maybe if you put both memory cards in.
Oh, okay.
I never did it, though, if you could.
Okay. I seem to remember, like, it still did the same thing with multiple saves, and you could
you
live in the same town kind of thing.
Yes, you had up to 4 houses, and you could have different people, and you could send each other letters and all that.
I'm not sure. I don't remember whether Animal Crossing ever came out in Australia. Honestly, like, maybe the first version didn't make it. Like, Dosh and the Giant, I don't think...
That didn't make it here. That was Europe.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that one came out in Europe. I don't think it ever came out in Australia. There was a couple that never came out in Australia because it was just Nintendo turnaround time to releasing to PAL territories is ridiculous. I'm talking like half to a full year delay behind the US territories.
Hey, speaking of,
insane.
I learned something new.
Oh?
Apparently, and I need comments. Leave a comment and explain this to me if you do something differently.
Yeah.
In the States, we call it the NES and the SNES here.
Yeah.
Or we used to call it the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
The proper names.
In Australia, we call it the...
Anyway, in the States, they call it the SNES and the NES.
Yeah.
And what is up with that?
Yeah.
I that's the first time hearing about... I've heard both, but I thought it was just weirdos. Now I'm realizing it's a whole country.
I think it's the same, like, some people in the States call him Mario instead of Mario. I've always found
but those are idiots.
Weird. Those are people who are factually wrong.
Yes. But I heard that in Australia, what do you guys call it?
I mean, again, it's kind of changed over the years, the same way that Sega is now Sega. Yes. But we were advertised to as Sega. Yes. Like every single person growing up would say Sega.
Or Nissan.
Yeah, Nissan is another good one. Instead of Nissan. Mm-hmm. But we would say like the NES or the SNES.
The NES or the SNES? Yeah, the SNES. Like a Pez dispenser?
Yeah, a SNES.
I'm going to have some Pez while I play my NES.
Yeah. And I don't know why, or whether that was just like a local colloquialism. But for whatever reason, we would call it the SNES. Like, bust out the SNES. I don't know why.
What is wrong with Australians?
Oh, we're all a country of criminals. It's fine.
It is criminal the way you speak.
It is. We have taken that English language away from its original owners and butchered it.
There's the accent.
We treat it with no respect.
Like, we know that the Australian accent comes from, that lower level of criminal, like the people who couldn't speak properly and possibly being drunk all the time.
It was being drunk all the time because you got to remember, we didn't just like dump criminals in Australia. There were a bunch of people who came over like as colonists as well. Like, I've been to...
Like Canada.
Yeah, but like I've been to like the state houses and things like that, and like those people lived fucking nice. Yeah. Let me tell you.
Well, I was like first Canadians here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you've got to remember, they had all the convicts build their houses. Yeah. So they lived real nice because they had a bunch of slave labor. Not to mention the Aboriginal slave labor.
Yeah, they did that here too. Oh, actually, it wasn't as bad here. But anyway, because the French settled first and they were much nicer to the natives than the British. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But yeah, so it was just being drunk all the time.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Like, and then the kids picked it up and was like, this is how we talk.
Yeah, exactly. Well, don't get me wrong, the kids are still all drunk all the time in Australia. There was so much underage drinking when I was a kid. Like, that's like... I'm sure
I think it's common everywhere, though.
I think so, too. Yeah, like, but like, Australia has such a drinking culture. Like, it's real
a bro culture.
It really is. But like, even when it's not the bros, it's just like, if you're not getting fucking blackout drunk, mate, every night, then you're not doing it right.
Every night.
Oh yeah, like
while you're frying prawns on the on the Barbie or whatever.
Yeah, that is a weird Paul Hogan Australianism for, I believe, the Outback Steakhouse.
Yes.
So that was a mess. That's a travesty. Throwing another shrimp on the Barbie is a Paul Hoganism, I believe.
Yeah, because you guys say prawns.
Yeah, we don't say shrimp. Like that has always upset me more than it should, because we don't have shrimps. We've got prawns,
which apparently are different than shrimp.
I don't know. I don't know.
I remember looking this up. I think prawns and shrimp are actually different.
They're like a subgenus kind of thing.
I think prawns are bigger, maybe.
Sure, why not?
Like jumbo shrimp.
What's a Balmain bug?
What?
We have those. We have okay, you know what? Let me look this up for you, okay?
What the fuck are you talking about?
This is a delicious seafood treat that we have in Australia called a Balmain bug. And anyone Aussie that's listening to this will know. It's basically like a lobster, like a short lobster.
Ew! It looks like
it's like a lobster and a crab had a baby.
What it looks like is those, like, when you look at, like, really old, like, evolution things. Yeah. And the weird critters that used to swim around in the ocean. Like, this thing looks pretty scary.
Imagine you got a lobster tail, cut it off at the tail, and then just sewed the head back on right at the end of the tail.
New South Wales. So it's specifically to New South Wales. Go back to the wiki page.
It is so goddamn delicious. I highly recommend trying out a Balmain bug if you ever go to Australia. They are the lobsters of the sea.
Ibicus peroni.
They're so good. The butterfly fan lobster. So they're a kind of lobster, actually. But, like, it is just like...
It lives in shallow waters. Scroll back up. Shallow waters around Australia, and it's the subject of small-scale fishery.
It's flattened, reddish-brown mammal up to 23 centimeters long. See, look, we're learning.
Yes.
In common with other slipper lobsters, the Ibicus peroni has a broad, flattened body and a large carapace. The carapace is reddish-brown.
It's creepy looking.
You're listening to Lobster Facts with Yakuza fan.
Yeah, peroni is almost always available at fish markets in Sydney.
They're so good. Again, it is literally like a tiny little lobster. Okay. They're delicious.
Apparently,
I've had those like on the barbecue, flame grilled, put a little garlic butter on them. Fuck me. Cal, we need to go to the store right now.
They don't sell these here.
These
are unique to Australia.
We need to find a way to import these.
These are unique to Australia. We can't have these.
I remember I went to a buffet once when I was a kid.
It looks creepy. Why would you eat that?
Because they are
It's called a bug. Why do you eat bugs? No.
They are so goddamn delicious. Oh, it's so good. Do we actually does it say on here? Balmain. Yeah, there you go. Australian include the Balmain bug, the eastern Balmain bug, and the butterfly lobster.
It's at the top.
Yeah.
Sand lobster.
They're so good. Everyone, go to your computers and look up Balmain bug. Look for the cutest lobster you've ever seen.
Oh, ew! I don't eat fish.
Hold on, do they have claws? I don't even.
No, they don't have claws.
Like they got the weird scuttly little. Oh yeah, there they are, like tiny little claws.
They, like I said, they look like an old school
They're adorable.
Pre-evolution.
They're like a lobster
sea creature.
They look like a tiny little lobster.
Okay, well
now I'm just hungry. Look at this. If you're feeling like you want to get hungry real quick, oh yeah, there we go.
This is making me physically nauseous.
This is making me physically
hate seafood.
Hungry.
It's so gross.
I love seafood so much. Oh yeah, look at
it's got feet. It's so gross.
Look, this is little
that
claws.
man in that picture looks so Australian. Please save that and use that as our picture.
I'm not using that as a picture. You know what? That's a good idea. Though. I will use a Balmain bug as the album art. I will Photoshop Kiryu fishing a Balmain bug out of the Australian sea. Everybody stop and look at the album art right now.
The album art.
If it's not working, it's Cal's fault.
Not my fault. That's not my job.
Either way. So, I think...
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
That's okay. Let's move on here. So, I had a good idea.
Okay.
My idea is... Yakuza 7 is a little whale. Sorry, I'm thinking I've got fish on the brain now.
Now you're going to eat a whale?
Okay. Yakuza 7 is a little while away. We don't know what's happening. Kiwami is still in testing. It's not out until I think summer, right?
Yes.
So it's still got a little while. God damn it! It's still got a little while to go. I'm gonna be saying a little whale forever now. It's now in my head, and every time I say it, it's gonna be a little whale.
I'm dead.
I know my voice is really starting to go here.
Okay, I'll explain what you're gonna try.
No, I will.
Let me explain it. So. Yakuza 6 is going to be out in a little while. We don't know anything about 7. Kiwami's not out yet. It's going to be out in the summertime. So basically what Deacon is saying is nothing is happening right now, and we want to talk about what's going to happen in the future. Now, we already know everything about Kiwami pretty much because it's out in Japan. We know everything about 6 because it's already out in Japan.
Yes.
So what don't we know anything about?
Yakuza 7.
That's right. So we're going to speculate. Because we love to speculate. Stop putting... He's sitting here just bringing up pictures of deep fried whatever
seafood.
bugs. Yeah, seafood. Anyway.
Oh my god, look how delicious this looks. I'm going to go make a bunch of fries after this.
Oh,
it's like 10 o'clock at night.
But I want classic fish and chip fries.
I know. I need to smother in a bunch of oil and then deep fry it.
But the stuff you get Oceanside or Lakeside. Like at Clark's back home.
I grew up in Australia. Yes, I know.
Okay. Anyway, so...
Get a good old Chico roll in you.
What the fuck?
A Chico roll.
What's a Chico roll?
I'm going to have to look it up what the colloquial... What it actually is. I know it's got a different name here. But that's an Australian staple. It's a spring roll. An Australian version of a spring or an egg roll. But yeah, that's a Chico roll right there.
Okay.
They're fucking delicious. Every Australian that's listening to this... Let me know if you've had a Chico roll and if there's anything better tasting in the world.
Why don't we have any weird Canadian foods? We've got poutine, but everyone knows about poutine. Where's the weird Canadianisms? Timbits?
Yeah, Timbits and, that's pretty much it.
We don't have anything. Milk doesn't come in bags at most grocery stores unless you go down east.
Yeah.
Used to when I was a kid, though.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, I remember there'd always be that one weird kid where you'd go to their house and you'd open their fridge and there'd be the milk in the bag.
Really?
Yeah, and there was this...
What was with that?
I think it was just shipping, and it was... You could kind of pack them differently, and it was a little bit... I don't know. It was just the way they stored the milk. So you'd go there, and they'd have this special device that was designed to hold the milk. So there was some people that would have that, or they would just have it in a juice jug. But the bag would be in the jug, so they'd set the bag inside the jug and then open it and wrap it
wrong with people?
Outside, and then the lid would be on it, and so you'd have these weirdos that would have milk in a bag. I did grow up with that culture.
Yeah.
But that's kind of phased out now. It comes in the regular 4-liter jugs, which is different than the States because we went to Florida and I was so confused. The milk is in opaque white jugs instead of here where they're see-through. And it threw me off. I'm like, this looks like a jug of bleach. Now I get why kids drink bleach in the States.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
The other thing we have is Kinder Eggs that Americans don't have.
Because they can't be trusted.
Yeah, can't be
Are you going to get to the point of this?
Okay, so we are going to speculate Yakuza 7 Playspot.
No. We're not going to speculate.
We're going to announce.
No, we're going
officially.
We're going to come up with a mini game or a play spot that we would like to see in Yakuza 7.
Fine.
Okay.
We're going to come up with our own. And it's not going to be about deep frying fish.
It might be. Okay, you know what? If we had like a takoyaki stand...
Does it have to be something that wasn't in previous games?
Like, I would prefer that, yes.
Okay, so something new. A new play spot for Yakuza 7.
Yes, a new play spot for Yakuza 7. Cal, go.
Why me? You're the one who's been thinking about this all day.
No, I haven't. I wrote it down just this morning.
Okay.
Just now.
Mine is a reimagining of an old play spot.
Before we sat down.
Mine is a reimagining of the old play spot.
Okay. Which one?
I'm going to tell you. Okay, so you know how you have the following. You have in Yakuza 0, you've got the phone sexy time with the girls, the phone chat. Yes. And then you've also got the grab your idol videos.
Yes.
Okay, and you know how in 6, you've got the chatting with the girls and stuff. Okay, how about we kind of combine all that, but make it with boys?
Okay, I feel like you've gone too far off the other end.
Shouldn't have put me on the spot.
I shouldn't have. You know, that was my mistake. But let's bring it back down to the realm of reality. So they start to take their
clothes off, and they show off their muscles, and it's glistening. And you play as Hana.
No. And then Kiryu has this sick idea for how to work his body and get more buff.
It's another Rizan time.
Yes, it's actually a revelation.
Yeah, it's a revelation.
It's a revelation. You
oil yourself down and then the bad guys can't grab you.
Yes. that would actually be a really good idea for a heat move. I don't know if you guys have tried this. There's an awesome heat move where if you have a piece of fruit in your inventory in Yakuza 0, you can perform a heat action at any time to pull out that piece of fruit and stuff it into someone's mouth. Yeah. And then jump on them and spray juice everywhere.
Yeah, imagine if you had massage oil in your inventory.
Right? How awesome that's the kind of stuff that I would like to see in the next game is more
weird heat actions.
Not context sensitive, but if you've got it in your inventory. Yeah. The best one in 6 was the one with the girl with the tits.
Yeah.
And you push someone and they fall into this girl's breast.
And then she gets mad,
she pushes them away and slaps them.
Yeah.
And it does an insane amount of damage. Those are the kind of heat actions that I love. The ones that you just don't expect.
Yeah.
I've done that heat action where you grab someone who's on the ground and cheese grate their face 1,000 times.
Yes. Give us something new.
Yeah. And then I went to do it that one time and stuffed a piece of fruit in someone's mouth.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, this is next level.
Yeah. Video games.
Yeah. I really like it when, especially the Yakuza games, just surprise you with something you didn't expect.
Yeah. So besides heat actions, what kind of play spot would you like? What unexpected, surprising play spot would be in your ideal Yakuza 7?
Man, there's already been so many play spots.
I know! They've covered almost everything.
Geez, I'm trying to think. I would like a I like the idea of doing a little bit more with the iFighter machine. It's kind of getting a little stale now, just doing the same kind of go into VR, beat up some shadow opponents on a 2D plane. I would like to see that go maybe a little bit more into PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
Where the iFighter can be played with the VR machine, and so you can... maybe that's not new enough, but I think it would be a nice twist on that mechanic to make it VR compatible.
Yeah, I guess, but that's not new, so that doesn't count.
True.
Okay, what about you have to be a YouTuber, and it's super meta. You're playing Yakuza 7 as Kiryu, as the new character. Yeah. We'll say Haruto. And you're a YouTuber, so you gotta be you gotta pick the right prompts for the situation.
This seems really pointless and weird.
Just like all the play spots.
Just like all YouTubers.
Yeah, and maybe you make money off your videos and you continue to collect revenue.
I like that idea.
But you have to pick the right thing. What's up, everybody? What's up, guys? It's your bro here, Haruto.
Oh, no. That sounds awful. Stop designing play spots. This was a poorly thought out game.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, so then you collect your revenue, and it's like, oh, Disney has a deal, but then you said something super racist, so we're dropping you.
Okay, given the Dragon Engine and its open world, like the way that it does its open world, I would like to see more, how do I phrase this? More done with that. Like, right now you have like the running to save someone, like, and you can go in and out of doors. I would like to see different mechanics make use of the open world. Like, I'm struggling to think of like what would be the best use of that though. Like, maybe some kind of I don't know if we want to do like a driving mechanic, but just like not like car stealing like in GTA, but something that makes more use of the mechanics of the open world, but with maybe different vehicles. Skateboarding springs to mind. How cool would it be?
Kiryu on a skateboard.
Right? Okay, or whoever the next protagonist. Haruto on a skateboard.
Yes.
In the Dragon Engine.
Yeah.
Flying around the streets of Kamurocho. Or, if they do go like a younger protagonist, like this probably would have worked.
That's why I'm saying Haruto.
This would have worked really well, I think, for the Kiryu games if they would have maybe done something where the guy is more of a street punk, like I can't remember his friggin' name now. The guy from Kiryu was always like a shonen style punk. Like he was doing his own thing, but then he would fight if anyone got in his way. But he never really did any punk type stuff. Like I would like the idea.
So not quite as heavy as the games have been too.
I'm okay with it being heavy, but I mean, again, we're talking about like street stuff. Like we're talking about play spots, which are always weird.
Yeah.
I would like them to maybe do a throwback to Jet Set Radio and have like a street tagging mechanic. So if you are playing as someone younger and who is maybe going against the police or something like that,
a little bit of a rebel there.
Exactly. Or you meet up with here's like a cool concept. You meet up with a crew of street kids who think it's cool to go tagging stuff. Jet Set Radio references galore.
Yeah.
Don't no rollerblades or anything like that, but just just do a bunch of references.
Yeah.
Like then you give the pro tag like a spray can, and then you get to design your own tag. Why not? Give you like I mean, let's face it, the Yakuza games always go way overboard with customization. Give you the ability to make like the most insane tags possible,
or like put your own picture in there.
That's dangerous. That's very dangerous. Jet Set Radio Vita does that.
Yeah. And
let me tell you what, there is a lot of untoward images that come from that. Jet Set Radio on the Dreamcast did that.
Well, maybe they could borrow Lego's dick recognition technology.
Oh, yeah. That's the dumbest. Anyway. And then, so you get either missions or spots where you need to go out and put your tag, and they're in, like, really hard to reach locations. Maybe, you know what, that's what I would like to see in the Dragon Engine, is more verticality.
Yeah.
Right now, it is very much like you stay on the ground. Sometimes you can go like inside of a building or up to a roof a little bit, but they're still very enclosed, and there are only specific ones. I would like to see more interiors open up.
I completely agree, and also what you were saying before about like these play spots kind of integrating more with the regular gameplay. I want to keep seeing that. Like Zero did it.
I think that Zero does it the best.
And 6 kind of moved away from that just based on the story and stuff. It didn't work for it.
I don't think Zero's one does it all. Six's. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't integrate it, and the plot did. I think the plot and the play spots were at odds a bit in that game. But anyway, in this one, have the story and the play spots kind of integrate more closely in just your regular gameplay. And what I was thinking was actually some kind of Twitter mechanic or similar. I know that they've done this before.
There is that in 6. Yeah,
but kind of a better version of it. So it's really picking up on things that are happening, and not only that, you see tweets from like some of the tie-ins and stuff like that to be kind of integrated with that to give that almost real world feeling.
How would you feel about a day-night cycle in the Yakuza games? Like a proper
day-night one.
Like proper day-night.
I think it would be challenging because they rely on the day-night for the storytelling right now.
Yes, but you could lock it. Like if you go to a story mission and then it locks you at that time for that mission. Hey, like you go there at night time, it's like, hey, let's wait till morning, we'll go do this. And then it hard locks that time at morning for that mission.
Maybe. It depends. Yeah, for the story missions it would need to, but for the side stuff, I would definitely love to see things change day and night wise. And just have that kind of cycle. I
definitely want more of the world to be available to me. If you don't want to do skateboarding mechanic, what about a time you go deliver pizzas or something like that, and you have to get on like a shitty little moped and drive around Kamurocho,
yes,
obeying speed laws to the letter.
That was like the one in 5, taxi driving.
A little bit, but like this again, I want that. Mm-hmm. That the taxi driving in 5 was very much like stick to the road. And you're having conversations. It's not. Yeah. It's not. There's not any point where you can really break the law without getting stopped. Like if you try to break the law in that, you get a hard stop and try again. Yeah. Whereas I would like to be on like I said, I want a crappy little pizza delivery moped. Yeah. The clients pop up around the city and you have to take it to them. And then every so many clients, they unlock a next part of a story of you building up this, again,
mom and pop pizza shop or tie-in.
Exactly. It's like that's what I want. I want the world to feel more connected.
This is where the Twitter also could come in, because to tip you off to some of the sub-content, it could be like, we've got a special on buy one, get one free, or we're looking for a delivery driver, like a tweet that would come up, instead of have you stumble upon it other ways.
That's kind of how they do the trouble missions in 6.
Yes, but the trouble missions are repetitive and inconsequential. I'm talking actual either story content or side story content.
And the only other thing I would like to see with that is I want the world to change. I want you go and you go and follow this quest. Yeah. And as you do it, as I said, the shop gets better, gets more recognition. The storefront updates.
We see this in 0, though, don't we? With the real estate manager.
As far as I know, it's very bare.
But still, the bones are there.
Yes, there is a. But by the time they moved away from 0, they did the Dragon engine.
It's the engine transition that really screwed 6 for a lot of the stuff, I think.
I think so too. I think that they put so much stock in the full voice acting for one, the special guest stars. Yeah. And then, you see it in 6, the unfinishedness of it, of having those sections blocked off just by a police barrier.
But I think Yakuza is one of the few games where they can give us an unfinished, unpolished game like 6 and make us more excited for the next one.
Oh, for sure. Whatever 7 has coming has me more excited than anything that they've done since Yakuza 3. Because it's like, what happens now? It's the end of Kiryu's arc. Yeah. And Kamurocho is built, reborn in this new engine that looks amazing. And don't get me wrong, I love Kamurocho, but I'm more excited to see whether they can expand that out. Yes. What I want them to be doing right now is taking that engine with Kamurocho and expanding it to the areas, the next area, the streets next to Kamurocho, whatever the hell that is. It doesn't matter to me at this point. The second it's available, I want them to expand into that area to give me double the amount of floor space in Kamurocho to play in. If we're going to keep it there anyway, give me more. I know,
or make it really alive, you said, verticality, more environments, more spots.
Make Kamurocho either the most alive it's ever been, or give me more to explore. Because right now, I know Kamurocho I know it as well as my hometown. Yeah. I know every back alley, every side street. I know that city. I've lived there for the last 6 years since I started playing Yakuza games, and to expand upon that, every time that I run down to the start of Tenkaichi Street and look across the road, and I see the Taito Game Arcade there, it's shit, I wish I could go over there instead of having the big red barrier signs pop up. I just want to go over the road and just see what else is there, and that
give us a little bit more. Yeah. And I think that would be a better use of their time than to make another city. Instead of making Sodenbori again, instead of making all these new areas, just give us a little bit more around Kamurocho and give us a little bit more above Kamurocho.
I really wish that we would have seen the Ghosts tie in with something. Yeah. The Ghosts do, as far as I know, the Ghosts do absolutely nothing. They're just there. Yeah. I really think that I like the idea of something that you collect without knowing what it is, and then just, oh, by the way, it was this. Yeah. And
even a sub-story would be great.
There should have been something that popped, and you hand in all the ghost photos. Yeah. I don't know, just
halfway through the game.
I didn't even need a reward
or something.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even need a reward. I just wish that there was some
reward, 200 experience and a job well done. Stamina. It's Yakuza.
Yeah, every time you find a ghost, you get a stamina.
Or you bring in 10 pictures to the medium and he's like, oh, I'm finally closer to uncovering the mystery behind Kamurocho than the mystery something stupid.
Yeah, exactly. But I like that idea of being able to start missions that you don't know what they do yet. Yeah.
But even, and then on Twitter, you're following people, oh, I keep seeing these, I think there's ghosts. I feel like I'm being watched. Something like that. Yeah. Tie it all together, without handing you the information.
Yeah.
Make it a little bit more...
Drip feed it to you a little bit more.
Yes, and make it a little bit more like you're only getting half of it, you figuring it out for yourself, and you're feeling smart about it.
Yeah.
Not like you're just, oh, here it is, you just ran into this guy that wants your help.
Yeah. I do think the sub-stories could use a little bit of different ways to start them. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like a little bit of a lead-up to a sub-story would make each sub-story feel a little bit more meaningful than just running into them. Like... Most sub-stories, you just find someone standing there looking around lost. And you're like, okay, I've got to help this person. This is a sub-story. Whereas if I was being led to the sub-story, which, again, they kind of do with the trouble missions in 6, it feels a little bit more natural.
Yeah, but wouldn't you feel that way if you saw a tweet that was like, someone retweeted, this pizza place is looking to, for a part-time delivery
I would love that.
Like, that's all we need. It doesn't have to be complicated.
Oh, no, not at all. I want, again, I like getting worlds that are boxes, and then they slowly reveal themselves as you dig deeper into them. I find that Kamurocho is very much, this is Kamurocho, this is the kind of stuff you're going to be doing there. Yeah. And whilst it's great and it's fun and every single sub-story is touching, I feel like I know exactly what I'm getting into. Yeah. Whereas I would like maybe a little bit of a slower reveal to some of these. As much as a pain in the ass as they are, I really like the sub-stories in the first 3 games that they start in one chapter, and if you don't do them right, you don't get them later. Yeah. I like that as a concept.
But you could kind of do that with a day and night cycle. You could only find them in the day or only find them at night.
There are sub-stories like that.
Yes, but it's driven by the game.
You have to go in and physically change the time.
Yeah, whereas if there was a day-night cycle, I think that would give you a little bit of that feeling without it being restrictive.
Yeah. Again, though, I think just having a little bit more worth with the open world would be nice. And a little bit more shortcuts around Kamurocho would be really nice at this point.
Yeah, they kind of did a few in 6. It would be nice if they kind of expanded on that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't know if we came up with a good idea for a Playspot. Yeah. I'm going to go with my pizza delivery idea. I think that's the best one I've had.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I like mine, but I guess... Twitter is probably the best. Some kind of Twitter equivalent.
Again, there is a Twitter equivalent.
I know, but it's not good. I want them to fix it then. I know, I kept getting but it was more like notifications. I want to follow fucking Akiyama. I want to, I follow at Sky Finance.
That would be fun.
You know what I mean?
You go around and okay, that,
you have to collect everyone's Twitter handles.
That's not a bad idea. In Yakuza 6, every single restaurant you go to in Kamurocho, there is a QR code in there. Yeah. If you scan them with your IRL phone, it takes you to that restaurant's website where you can order food online. Okay. That is a thing that exists. Yeah. So what if instead you go there, you find the QR code. They don't prompt you for this, but you're just on the lookout. Any QR code you see in the world, Kiryu or whoever scans it with his smartphone, and then they get added to an in-game social feed. Yes. And then from that social feed, sub-stories and requests from those companies start popping up. Hey, we're having an event with this idol at this location at this time of day, 6 o'clock every day. Yeah. And so you have to look at... This is what I'm hoping Shenmue 3 is a little bit more like. That's... Saying it out loud like this makes me think a lot of what Shenmue tried to do. Yeah. And if this is the direction Shenmue 3 moves in, okay, I'm happy.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But I think that this kind of idea for Yakuza would be great. Again... You pops up on your Twitter feed, handshake event, this location, this time. And then you have to get over there and wait for it to happen or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, and then if you miss it, you have to try again tomorrow or wait for the prompt again. Maybe it's on a timer or cooldown or something like that.
I think that would make me a little bit more connected to the world than it currently is. Right now it feels like mark them off a checklist. Yes. Whereas having a little bit more of an immersive design would be I think it would definitely be a benefit to a game that is very much by the books at this point.
Yeah, and you'd get a lot of, oh shit, what's this now? What are we doing this time? Or, oh shit, I gotta go over.
What about this? You go down the sewer and you're looking around, you punch a bunch of boxes and then on the ground is a QR code. And then you pull up your phone and you scan it and you find some underground group's Twitter. Yeah. And then you start following that, and then every so often they'll tweet at you because they don't have many followers, but you followed them for some reason. And so you start getting drawn into whatever. What if this is how the Hitman missions are done now?
Oh yeah, that would be great.
So this idea of having this thing that you find then subscribe to, and then they can hand you out the missions like that.
Or even something like Mr. Shakedown. Like, you happen to beat him once, and while he's laying on the ground, you find a QR code, like maybe his phone's falling out of his pocket.
You take his cell phone and find out that he's got a Twitter handle.
He's got a Twitter handle, and he actually tweets, "Oh, I'm going for a drink over at this place," and then that's where he is. So you kind of get some tip-offs as to where Mr. Shakedown or the equivalent is. Yeah,
exactly. Like I want
little bonuses for you.
Again, I want the world to feel more lived in and more like every character has a life outside of what I'm doing at the time. Like I want to pull up my phone, look at, as you said, like Mr. Shakedown's Twitter feed and see that I'm going to be here at this time. Come to so and so park at 3:00 if you want an ass kick.
Yes, exactly.
That sounds great.
That's perfect. That's exactly what I want. A little picture.
Yeah, it's just a picture of a bicep, like the little bicep emoji. Oh, that sounds so bicep and money. That's all. Yeah. Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, this sounds fucking awesome. I think that either Nagoshi or Yu Suzuki needs to hire us.
Yes, I completely agree.
I think that this is a really good idea for a gameplay mechanic.
As a writer, like for me, the first thing I write is like characters and what they like to do and what they do outside of the story.
The first thing I write is worlds. Whenever I write something, it's worlds.
See, me, it's characters, and then it's and then it's the world, and then how these characters interact with that world. Then the story. The story comes last.
I think that's why we work pretty well together professionally, because you do characters, I do worlds, and together we make a great stew, a great gumbo of ideas.
But for me, this is all character building. This is all just what are their motivations outside of the story.
Yeah.
And I love that.
I would be totally down for that. Okay, I think this may be the most... Sorry, go ahead.
Can I add something before you wrap things up?
I was going to say, this might be the most Yakuza-y podcast we've done in a while. It's great.
We've talked many times about how Kiryu is a reactionary character, so he is always reacting to what's going on. He never seems to have...
Yes, except for the trouble missions.
Yes, except for the trouble missions. But he always seems to be motivated by the events that are happening. Yes, he has some internal motivation, but overall, he's not really focusing on what he wants to do. Yes. 6 is a bit better for it, I think.
I think so too.
But he's a character where stuff happens to him. So I think that having something like the cell phones and everything like that would, like the trouble missions, give you that... Take away that feeling of you're just having things happen to you. Because I don't think that the Yakuza writers would stop doing that.
What if you could schedule something as Kiryu? Like, what if you're the character that says, come to so-and-so park at 6:00 for an ass kicking?
Yeah.
And, you do that to, get, recruits for, a gym or for the Kiryu gang. Or, again, whoever is the new protagonist. Have you... lay plans for other people to fall into.
I think that would be difficult from a gameplay design
I don't think so. I think that you go to the park, you pull up your phone and say, meet me here for an ass kicking, and then someone comes over and then you fight them, and then if you want to, you can recruit them.
Okay.
Instead of just walking around and bumping into people.
Yes.
I think it would be a much niftier idea to draw people to you.
How would you feel about them taking out the random battles entirely?
Ugh.
I think that it's time. I think that that RPG aspect of the game needs to move forward.
I disagree. I think that now, with the way that 6 works, there's no difference. You can get into a random battle at any time, and kind of the thugs and weirdos around Kamurocho are fine. 6, you can finally flee from battles, so it doesn't even make a difference.
I think the fleeing is great, but I think it's so unrealistic. I know it's a video game, and I know that we're superhuman strength and all that, but to just have random people constantly throwing themselves at you, I think that the only places that random battles should be are in alleys. And then you can...
Oh, so if you go to a shadier part of town.
Yes, exactly. Okay, and then you do more story missions to raise your experience, and more play spots to raise your experience, and more sub-content to raise your experience.
I see what you're saying.
So it turns into almost more of an adventure game than, say, this action fighter in that aspect, but then you could, meet me at the pit on Twitter.
Again, you were talking more of a Shenmue.
Right, I am.
Okay,
you know what? Yakuza's got to become more like Shenmue.
I disagree. I think Yakuza is better when it's its own thing. I think that
No, I agree.
I think the random fights are... part of the series. I think that it gives Kamurocho a bit of an edge.
Okay.
I think I would like to maybe see normal mode made a little bit harder. I would like to see them change that. I
think maybe we need some more variety too in the random encounters, or maybe some difficulty ramping up as you get stronger. It would be nice if there was some more scaling. Yeah. Or some more badass dudes moving. Hey, you kicked all of my buddies' asses.
Here's what I would like to see.
Now here's the thunder.
That would be awesome. What I would like to see is better weapon durability. I never use weapons in Yakuza games. There is an amazing moveset out there with a ton of weapons.
Funny how Jim Sterling gave Yakuza 0 a 9.
Yeah, but you don't. But really, you don't use weapons. Yakuza 0, you don't use weapons.
I don't use weapons in Zelda very much.
Okay, first of all, you're a liar. Second of all...
I use my bombs.
Second of all, Yakuza 0 and its weapon system is kind of like a throwaway minigame, which... Again, it sucks because there are some really cool weapons and some really good, like, cool techniques for each weapon.
But they're hidden behind a lot of grinding. I think that Yakuza really needs to tone down the grinding.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I don't mind...
combat-wise, that's
fine.
I
don't mind doing... And I don't mind the idea of doing the completion lists. I think that stuff's very, very
fitting. I agree. I think that needs to continue in Yakuza games. It's so much part of its soul at this point.
Yeah, precisely. But
the battle dungeons and that kind of stuff needs to take it.
Step
down, not necessarily.
I don't mind the battle dungeons for again. Ishin's battle dungeons were actively worse by not having a Vita.
Right, but it was intended as a grinding thing.
Yes,
and I think that stuff needs to just tone down. I think they need to focus.
It was intended as a grinding thing because you were going to play it on your Vita.
But why would you still? I don't want to grind anymore on my Vita.
I do.
You do?
Yes, I do because I want to play some of that on the go. And leveling up the cards and the mechanic, like all of that mechanic, is super appealing if I'm not tied to a TV.
Oh,
like yeah.
So Yakuza 7 on the Switch is
honestly, yeah. I do so much better on my RPGs that are portable because I don't need to be stuck. Like I play so many more RPGs when I can just take them anywhere. Where I have my 3DS and I just pop open the lid and I can play for 5 minutes and get some shit done. That is more appealing to me than sitting in front of a TV. The idea of a Yakuza game on the Switch where I can just pop it up and go is crazy appealing.
Yeah,
I really like that idea. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but I love the idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Nagoshi was on stage.
He was.
So you never know.
I think we'll get the next few Sonic games on Switch, but
that wasn't him. That has nothing to do with him, though. I guess it does.
It does. He's the CCO.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any other Sega games coming out like that I can think of. I know there's a couple of arcade games coming out, but I don't think there's any like core Sega titles right now that I can think of. Someone let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. And you know what?
Puyo Tetris.
Puyo Tetris has been out in Japan on the PlayStation 3 for like 5 years.
Oh, yeah, I know. I've played it, but I mean, it's coming out again. It's re-releasing. And it's going to be on the Switch.
Yes. Anyways, here's what I want to see in the comments this week. If you guys have made it this far, let me know what your idea for a Playspot would be. Like, what is something that's never been in the game before, something that is uniquely Japanese or uniquely Yakuza-y. Like, what would you guys like to see in a Playspot for Yakuza 7? Because I would really love to know. I love spitballing these kinds of ideas to see if it ever comes true, if someone has a really good idea for a mechanic. So let me know in the comments. What do you guys think? What's a good idea for a Playspot? And I think this is probably a good place to end it for this week.
Yeah, I think so too.
Cal, thank you again for diving into the Yakuza hole with me. I know it's been a while, but I think this was really good. I liked it.
Yeah, we should really talk about Yakuza more in our Yakuza podcast. Can I talk now?
You can.
Can I do my spiel?
Well, I'm going to keep talking, but you see whether you can get a word in. Anyway, guys. Okay, go ahead.
If you like what you heard tonight, make sure to please back us on Patreon if you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, why are you still here? This was a really long podcast.
Hey, how about this? If you didn't enjoy it, you can we have a tier on Patreon where you can tell us what you want to hear more of.
Yes.
So if you want to tell us what not to talk about, give us more money.
Because that makes perfect sense. But yeah, these shows, we make so little money on YouTube, so they're pretty much brought to you by Patreon. That keeps us going. That keeps everything fun. We have to purchase an upgrade to our server, so we're going to be doing that with Patreon money. Yes. And that's what it goes towards.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, thank you again. Support us on Patreon, and we will talk to you next week. Thank you so much for listening.
Bye.
Bye.